All right, hello. This is Minister Smith here with Jesus Christ Ministries. I want to welcome you all to this week's episode, this week's learning. The topic here for today is how to act on your dreams, okay? How to act on your dreams. One sidebar item here is I have my notes right here next to me, and so when you see that I'm turning to the side here is for me to make a reference to my notes, okay? But the topic for today is how to act on your dreams. And why do we want to talk about how to act on your dreams? Because every time God speaks to you and me, every time God speaks to his people, he does not speak for our entertainment, okay? He speaks because there is something he needs us to do, okay? So when God gives you or myself a message in a dream, it's because he requires something of us. And so we're going to need to act upon the message in the dream, okay? That is why today's topic is around how to act on your dreams. So you've had a dream, you've interpreted the dreams, right? Now you need to act on the dream, okay? Similarly, if the enemy speaks to you in your dream, if you have a dream that is of demonic origin, okay? How do you know that the dream is of demonic origin? You're going to follow the instructions in one of my videos that I did on how to identify the source of your dream. I did a teaching on that. I did a video on that. So please go over to the Jesus Christ Ministries YouTube channel and look for that video on how to determine the source of your dream, okay? That's how you understand if the dream is from God or if it's from the enemy. But for the sake of this video today, this message today, our topic is how to act on your dreams, okay? And in order to begin to act on your dream, you first have to know if the dream is from God or if it's from the enemy. You have to know the source of the dream. And so I'm highlighting a video or teaching that I did some weeks ago around the topic of how to determine the source of your dream. Is it from God or from the enemy? So in this dream, we're assuming that you've been able to interpret the dream and you've been able to assess if the dream is from God or if it is demonic in nature, okay? Now, that's the first step. In order to act on your dreams, the first step is to have interpreted the dream and determined, one, either that the dream is demonic in nature or the dream is prophetic or the dream is from God, okay? That's the first step. The second thing you need to do is this. Now, if the dream is from God, this is our second step. If the dream is from God, there's one of two things that you're going to need to do. If you have interpreted the dream and you have determined that the dream is from God, there's one of two things you're going to need to do. The first thing is either or. If the dream is from God, you're going to do either this or that. So either you're going to need to dive further into prayer for more clarity and more instruction from God before you act, okay? And why would that be the case? Let's say in the dream, the interpretation is inconclusive, right? The interpretation is inconclusive, right? Or you really don't have full clarity on the interpretation. You know for a fact the dream is from God based on my teachings, right, that I've done on this channel. You've determined that the dream is in fact from God. But in terms of the overall message, the interpretation is inconclusive or you're not very clear on the interpretation, right? Then you're going to need to dive further into prayer and ask God for more clarity and more instruction, all right? Or maybe the interpretation is clear, but what God is asking you to do in the dream, maybe you currently live in the city of Los Angeles, and in the dream, God is implying that you should get up and move to a new city, right? And you're afraid, you're unsure about it. Then in this case, the dream is from God, and he's telling you to do something that you're unsure about, then you're going to need to dive further into prayer to get further clarity and further instruction. Okay, so the reason that God will give you a dream like this is typically because God is seeking further intimacy with you. Matter of fact, the reason that God gives his people dreams is for relationship purposes, for relational reasons. God is a relational God. He wants to relate to us. He wants us talking to him every day and him talking to us every second of every day. Okay, so dreams are a medium of communication, right? That God uses to communicate with us. And our response is either prayer or action. So the first step is you've interpreted the dream, you've determined it's from God. Now the second step is either the dream is the interpretation is clear, but you need further clarification, you need further instruction, then dive further into prayer. Or maybe the interpretation is not clear. Even though you know the dream is from God, the interpretation is inconclusive. Then dive into prayer further and ask God, say, Lord, here's what I think this dream means. Can you give me some additional instruction, some additional clarity? Can you give me another dream, right? That'll continue where this dream left off, to give me a full interpretation, or give me a sign, or speak to my spirit, something along those lines. Okay. The second option. Remember, this was an either or, right? The dream is from God, so now you either ask God for further clarification by diving further into prayer, or if the dream is from God and it is a warning dream. God gives lots of warning dreams, okay? For example, the dream that God gave the Pharaoh of Egypt, right? That Joseph interpreted, right? God was telling the Pharaoh about, a time of plenty, 7 years of plenty, where Egypt needed to, store up a lot of food for a subsequent 7 years of famine that would come, right? So this was a warning dream. So if the dream is from God and it is a warning dream, then what you have to do is you have to pray to God for the warning to be corrected, right? Maybe God is saying to you in the dream is, hey, listen, you're not living right, or maybe you need to be walking more actionably. You need to be more assertive in walking in your calling, right? That's a warning dream. So you have, in that case, you would be asking God for strength, asking God for more wisdom, understanding. So the dream's a warning dream, or maybe God is saying, hey, you need to pray more because the enemy is planning an accident for you in a month or in 2 months or whatever. Or maybe you're getting ready to travel and then you dream of an accident, okay? Or you dream of a plane crash, right? When maybe you're about 3 weeks away from a scheduled travel and you have this kind of dream. It could be a warning that God is giving you that you need to pray to abort a potential accident in the future. So you would pray to abort whatever the evil is that God is warning you of, okay? Now, if the dream is from God and the dream is portending a blessing, then you would pray to God. You would pray that blessing through, okay? You've assessed that the dream is from God. You've interpreted the dream. You've assessed it's from God. Now, and you've understood that the dream is God is telling you about a blessing that he's bringing into your life. Now, the action is you're going to pray that blessing through, okay? And how do you do that? You're going to use consistent, sustained, burning prayers. Consistent, sustained, burning prayers, okay? To pray that blessing through. You would do the same thing in order to abort the evil in the warning that God gave you, okay? And also, if it's a situation where you need to ask God for further clarity, you would also use consistent, sustained, burning prayers to do that, okay? So that's one instance, okay? In this instance, the dream is from God. Now, let's talk about an instance where the dream is demonic. So in this case, you've interpreted the dream, you've assessed that it is of demonic origin. And how do you know that? Again, reference my video that I did on this channel around how to identify the source of your dream, if the dream is from God or from the enemy. So for the sake of this video, we're assuming that you had a dream, you've assessed that the dream is from the enemy. You've interpreted the dream, you've had a dream, you interpreted the dream, you've determined that the dream is of demonic origin. Now, what is your action? The action that you need to do is you need to undertake or engage in consistent, sustained, burning prayers to cancel and or reverse whatever demonic arrow or evil projection that the enemy has projected at you in the realm of the spirit in this dream. Got to take this very, very, very seriously, man, or ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. You have to take this very seriously. So let's step back and again go back to our subject. Okay, the subject for today being how to act on your dreams and why you need to act. Okay, anytime God speaks to you and me, it is not because He wants to entertain us. It is because He is giving us a specific message that we need to act upon. And anytime the enemy speaks to you and me in a dream, it is also not to entertain us. It's because he is wicked and he wants to bring evil into our lives. So anytime you and I have a dream, we need to act. We need to take action. And it is this action that we have discussed today, how to act on your dreams. So there's a certain action you're going to take if the dream is from God, and there's another action you're going to take if the dream is from the enemy. Okay, so we've talked about that. I want to thank you for tuning in, and again, if you have not already done so, please hit the subscribe button on your device, and also hit that bell icon that's next to the subscribe button, so that every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified and you'll be able to join in with us, and we can learn and grow together. Okay, I will see you next week's video. Remember, I upload one video a week, one message a week, and I do appreciate you tuning in so that we can discuss the things of God around dreams. Very important. So thank you again. God bless you. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Amen.